What up, everybody? It's your boy CG back at you guys again with more crypto news and information. Now, before I get into today's topic, if you guys could do me a favor and hit that like button, it's the easiest way for you to show your support to the channel. It takes less than a second, and on top of that, it puts me on the good side of the YouTube algorithm. So hit that like button, please. Now, getting into today's topic. So, I come across two videos today that actually describe the sentiment towards the price action of Bitcoin going into 2021, towards the end of 2020. And in my honest opinion, when they talk about the sentiment of Bitcoin, we're talking about the sentiment of the entire crypto market because things tend to follow Bitcoin's lead. But getting into it, the first person who we're going to be seen talking, who's going to be seen talking, is Mr. Alex Machinsky. He was the person who was the inventor of Voip, voice over IP. So, you know, when you have like these internet voice calls that you make, basically speaking through the internet or talking over the internet, this is the guy. He's the innovator behind that. He's since got into money over IP, Moip, through his project Celsius Network. But we're not here to talk about Celsius today. We're just here to see what he sees happening going forward.
On hash rate side, the miners who were betting on a big surge before the happening basically, I think, realized that because of the economic activity, it's just not going to happen, and they're all going to be facing half the amount of Bitcoin that they were making through May, after the end of May. So some of them just decided, forget it, it's not worth waiting for the recovery. I'm just going to shut down, and if I have older machines, or if I cannot compete with these giant new mining pools that have been created in Texas and other places, I have to basically, so all the small guys basically had to close shop. And so we're seeing basically a transition from smaller regional guys to more like larger players who are dominating the mining industry.
And you speak about.
All right, so that was Mr. Machinsky talking about exactly what I've actually said before. The miners going into the halving and post-halving, short term at least, are all looking at the same thing. Our supply has been cut. The supply has been cut in half, and that includes our payouts. And if BTC doesn't maintain a level in which we're profitable for the post-halving up until a certain amount of time, we may be forced to go out of business. Unless you're an extremely large mining operation that has the funds to be able to, you know, accommodate yourselves until we start seeing more positive price action. And he's actually explained it extremely well. We are seeing a capitulation of miners, but we're going to go to one more part of the video, then we'll go to the next video.
So if, firstly, people say, well, Bitcoin will get back up to 20K. Some people say 100K. So firstly, where do you think it's going to go, and what are the factors that are going to push it? So, you've gotten rid of speculators. So what are the factors going to be other than hodlers?
So look, I've been saying the same thing consistently since the end of 2019 and 2020. You can see videos of me on the NASDAQ channel, Trade Talks and others, where I consistently said that we're going to go down first, and then we're going to go to new highs after the halving. And I don't see that happening until July or August, because a lot of miners and a lot of other people hedged their positions. So they're actually going to be selling into the halving instead of buying. And then we see a resurgence, because we're going to see only buyers left, right? The supply is going to get cut by half, and you're going to continue seeing that consistent growth. We're seeing consistent growth. Our user base is growing 3-4% week over week without us doing anything. We don't advertise, and it's the same kind of growth rate for the entire community. So that tells you that the people who are joining this are not scared by the coronavirus or by the economic recession or by things like that. So as that user base continues to grow, and the supply, the halving causes supply to go from 25 coins every 10 minutes to 12.5 coins every 10 minutes, that is a huge impact. You will see that right away. So I'm expecting $20,000 to $30,000 by the end of this year, but most of that is going to be in Q4.
So there you have it. Mr. Machinsky has given his take on the price action that's going to take place this year on Bitcoin. As I've stated before, we most definitely are going to see a capitulation in the price due to the miners having to shut down operations because they're not able to maintain profitability. Only the large players will be left intact, in my personal opinion. And I'm not going to say, okay, that's a big statement. I'm not going to say only the large players, but the people who will be left more than likely are going to be able to accommodate themselves, and that tends to be the larger players in the space. So, moving on to my next video. This video is actually talking. It's from CNBC, by the way. They're talking about where they see the price going, what's going on as far as price action, and the different metrics they may be using to actually estimate this and predict where we're going. And this is actually Mike Novogratz of Galaxy Digital Bank. I think Galaxy Digital Bank came into inception maybe 2 years ago, a year ago. I may be wrong. Correct me if I am. And he's giving his take on CNBC TV. But let's hear what he has to say.
Crypto term where, the real core crypto guys never sell. I literally really think that the movement we're seeing, listen, the happening comes almost at a perfect time. If you think about this macro backdrop of quantitative easing on top of quantitative easing on top of quantitative easing, the happening is quantitative tightening. And so, it's like an exclamation point on the macro story of why a scarce asset like Bitcoin should go higher. And so I haven't sold. I think, I missed the sell-off, and I think you're going to see the thing base here. And we will take out 10,000. We will go to 20,000 by the end of the year. I feel real confident about it.
So there you have it. Mr. Mike Novogratz has given his take on where we're going. His prediction, albeit the same as Mr. Machinsky's, his thought process is a little bit different. He believes that we have already reached a point where, regardless of the miners selling into the halving, we are going to see pretty stable prices around this area. So he's essentially saying we're not going to drop any more than this for the most part. If anything, it'll be slight. And we're going to continue to push forward into Q4 2020, where we may retake the highs that were set in 2017. Now, in my personal opinion, I do agree with both of them, but I'm leaning more towards the side of the capitulation, as far as we have huge sell walls going on right now in the market, especially on, I believe, Bitfinex or BitMEX. We have a chart coming into this article which actually discusses this as well. The golden era for Bitcoin is coming after crucial weekly candle closes above $9,500. So essentially what they're stating is that they're kind of more on the side of what Mr. Novogratz was saying in the last video, that regardless of whatever may be taking place, we've already reached a point where, because of the economic situation around the world, especially in the US, with this threat of quantitative, not even a threat, but this action of unlimited quantitative easing and negative interest rates, we are going to be seeing people, investors, institutions, billionaires, millionaires, it doesn't matter who, going into Bitcoin as a safe haven asset, or even as a much more profitable way of preserving their money. And to be honest with everybody, I do see this as the turning point. Bitcoin has officially become seen as a store of value. We've gone from being looked at as, well, when I say we, I mean BTC has gone from being looked at as tulips or rat poison, according to Mr. Warren Buffett, and it is now being seen as a safe haven asset that you can store your wealth in, thanks to its scarcity. And as Mr. Novogratz stated, the quantitative tightening mechanics or mechanisms that are built into Bitcoin. So just these few things alone, I can completely understand where he's coming from and why he would say this. But me, I tend to be more of a realistic, bearish person when it comes to these types of things. So that's how I tend to look at everything. So we are going to see some volatility. We do have huge sell walls over here, and I do believe that this mostly may be miners who are selling off their Bitcoin positions and potentially closing down their operations. We have seen major resistance around the $10,000 mark. So this is going to be a uphill battle for BTC as far as reclaiming any types of previous high or even breaking past the $10,000 to $11,000 mark. But I do believe that in the short term, yes, slightly bearish. I'm not even going to say slightly bearish because I do believe that we may see, if we have any type of capitulation, maybe down to like 65 to the $7,000 range. And that's just my personal prediction. It could be a little bit higher, it could be a little bit lower, but we are going in this direction. I still believe that after this short-term capitulation that will take place, or that is taking place, we are going to start climbing again, and into Q4 of 2020, we are going to start seeing some extremely bullish action on the on Bitcoin side. So this has been your boy CG, everybody. Remember to hit that like button, share the video, subscribe. Have a great day. Peace. I'm out.